Hi, I'm Tim from the Heresy group. Today I want to give you some advice on starting Airsoft. As you're going to see, a lot of our content over on the Heresy group is focused around the more higher tiered kit, and the kit that really does specialise for people that are going to do 24, 48 and 72 hour events, a lot of them known as Milsims. What I want to give advice today on is for someone who is completely new to Airsoft, and give you some advice on starting out and some of the early things that you can buy. What I would firstly recommend is have a good look around YouTube specifically. I would not advise you to take too much information from the magazines that are out there and some of the more published media, purely because it can be so oversaturated and biased towards brands that are spending money with them. So check out YouTube as to give you a good idea of Airsoft as a broad spectrum. There's lots of different types of events out there. You can do, speed soft, which is very tight, CQB, close quarters, very fast paced. Then you can move to more skirmish based events that are normally over one day, predominantly a Saturday or a Sunday. You'll play from about 9-10 o'clock in the morning till 4-5 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, then a subset of that is that the days can be broken down where you are out on the ground the whole time. Then you can also have one lunch break, some have 2 lunch breaks, and some days are broken down into very small 30 or 40 minute games. Find the one that suits you best, and the best thing that I can advise on that also would be to go onto Google and Facebook and to find a few sites in your local area. Now I say a few because I don't think it's fair for you to go to one site and then for you to take your opinion of Airsoft just from one site. Find a few in your area and visit a few before you go and make any purchases. Now, one of the key things that you need to look out for is find a site that offers a rental package. This will stop you from spending any money on a load of kit and then trying it out and not liking it. This will give you everything that you will need for that day to be able to turn up, play the day's worth of events and then come away. And I suggest that you do that a few times before you invest any hard-earned cash in buying equipment for Airsoft. Now, I do know of a few players that have gone and saved for months. They've gone and bought all of their equipment and then they've tried it out and not liked it, and they've got that view just from one site. So that's why I highly recommend that you visit more than one site so that you can get some different ideas of the sites in your area. I've been to sites all over the UK and I can hands down tell you that I've never been to 2 that are run the same. Some are broken down, some are unbroken down, some are more regimented, some are more loose, some allow the players to just go out and pretty much have a tear up, while others are a lot more structured into timed segments where you need to go out and achieve goals in certain periods of times. So because of that, visit a few sites, find what you like best. By using the rental packages, you're normally going to be given a few items when you turn up. Now, these rental packages cost between £30 and £60, and they will save you money in the long run if you do want to try Airsoft out a few times initially. You're going to turn up, and on the day you're going to be given an AEG, and you will be given some BBs, some magazines and some iPro or face protection. If they do offer you full face protection at that point, please take it. That would be my advice. Now, an AEG, you're going to hear this referenced to a lot in Airsoft, and I won't go into too much detail, but essentially an AEG is an electric Airsoft gun that is running on a NiCad or LiPo battery. The batteries will last all day. You can buy them from all sorts of hobby shops and all over the internet, on eBay and so on and so forth, and that will run the gun for the day. You'll be given some magazines that hold the BBs. The BBs are 6mm hard plastic projectiles. They essentially weigh anywhere from 0.2 to 0.5 of a gram, so they're not particularly heavy, and they will be traveling in the region of 200 to 300 FPS, so they'll be traveling through the air very, very quickly. When you turn up on the day, we get asked a lot, what would you advise that we wear? Do we need to go and buy kit? At this point, I would use exactly what you have at home already. Now, if that's a pair of walking boots, work boots, any boots that you have would be advised. If you don't have any boots, wear trainers. Most sites will let you get away with it as like a new player, but most will advise in the future that you wear boots. Boots will protect your ankles. You'll find that a lot of the sites in the UK are based in woodland, and that will stop any prevention from injuries or damage to your ankles or feet while moving around in the woods. For your trousers or to cover your legs, I highly recommend that you wear jeans. I know lots of people that wear tracksuit bottoms to these sorts of events. If you're in the woodlands in the UK, we have brambles, hedgerows, holly bushes, you know, fences and sharp bits of bark and wood all over the place. So your legs will be pushing through that material, and you know, so advise jeans really, and that will offer up the most protection for your legs. On your upper body then, if you're playing in the summer, I always recommend, you know, have all of your skin covered, so a long sleeve t-shirt or a long sleeve jumper, something like this. If you are playing in the winter, then I recommend a few layers as well, and a few layers even in the summer if you can get away with it. That is going to negate any real kind of sting from the BBs when they hit you. And talking about that, we get asked a lot about, does it hurt? Is it as painful as other sports? What I would like to say is that it is not as painful as paintball, but you can be shot in places with this small little ball that will hurt. If you get shot in the face, obviously it's going to sting a bit. Sometimes it may leave a little bit of a mark. I've had events where I've been shot in the face and it's been gone by the end of the day, and then I've also had some little grazes and cuts from being shot in the face. Other than that, really, it doesn't particularly hurt anywhere else on the body. If you get shot in the hands when it's cold, it can be a little bit sore, so you know, you could take some gloves with you, but what I'd advise is that you take some thin gloves with you, like mountain biking or BMXing gloves, just to offer up a little bit of protection for your hands. Big bulky leather gloves, big woolen gloves are not going to help you. You're not going to be able to manipulate the weapon particularly well, and using a speed loader to load up your magazines full of BBs and to manipulate the weapon might be a little bit difficult, so you might just have to, you know, grin and bear just some bare hands for a little while. When you have done a few games, decided what sort of thing that you like, and then you're looking for kit, one of the most important things here is to get a gun based on what you like. So if you like the look of a SCAR, if you like the look of an M4 platform, you want a PTW, you want an MP7, you want an MP5, whatever gun you like the look of, choose the platform that you like the look of best. Performance at this stage is really not that important. Don't worry about chasing the highest FPS gun you can buy or the one that will fire the most rounds. I would really focus on getting a platform that you like and enjoy using that platform. Now, dependent on what platform you choose at this point will dictate as to how you carry those magazines. So if you carry a platform that is 7.62, so like a SCAR H, or anything that requires a large magazine, then you need to make sure that whatever platform you're going to get to carry those magazines will carry that scale of magazine. You'll find that most platforms out there will fit most, but just to make you aware, if you're a fan of AKs or G36s, anything like that, then they are a bit of an obscure magazine type, and you might find that some of the platforms that you have won't fit those magazines. So find a weapon that you like. Your most important purchase will be eye protection, bar none. This is overlooked in so many airsoft videos, newbie guides and all this sort of thing. Eye Pro is so important, and what you find is people spend all this money on gun and kit and all this sort of thing, and they turn up with very low ballistic rated, if ballistic rated at all, eye protection. They're just impact rated. Do not go to B&Q, Wix, Homebase and buy some safety glasses. They will not protect you sufficiently. Spend your money on decent eye pro. You can go over to Tactical Kit. I will link them in the description below. They do eye pro on there from about £35–40 up to about 150. Buy what you like the look of, what you can afford, but do not skimp out on eye pro. If you are a young kid, boy or girl, and your parents are funding this for you, please show them this part of the video. It is so important to protect your eyes, and it is overlooked a lot. So, you know, get yourself some ballistic rated eye protection. So that will be rated against, you know, very, very fast, very heavy duty impacts, and that is going to stop them from shattering, and that is going to stop your eyes from being damaged. A lot of people ask us about mesh goggles. I'm actually not a fan of them. I've seen a few people be hit with mesh goggles and the BB has shattered through the mesh and gone into their eye. No permanent damage caused, but definitely some irritation, and it has ended their day early. The same as it being hit and paint coming off the back of the mesh as it's deformed and hit with a BB, and that going in people's eyes as well. So clear, you know, ballistic specification eye pro. There's plenty of it over on Tactical Kit. So iPro, very, very, very important. When you pick your weapons platform, obviously you're going to need batteries and you're going to need magazines for that platform. And I suggest that you just get an AEG to start with. There is other types of weapons out there. You'll get spring and you'll get gas. I would completely evade gas for this part. You know, if you're starting out, don't go down the route of getting a gas gun. On the spring side, most sniper rifle platforms are spring operated. That means that each time you want to fire the weapon, you have to manually cock the bolt, lay the bolt in, and then you can fire one shot off of that pre-cock. So what I would recommend is that you avoid that as well. That will limit your engagement distances and that will limit your positioning on the site. That will also limit the amount of rounds that you can put down and the types of engagements that you can have. So I highly recommend to get the best experience early on out of Airsoft would be that you get an AEG. Moving on from that, your next line of kit that you will be required and that will help you out during kind of getting going with Airsoft would be to buy a cheap chest rig. Now, a lot of people you're going to see playing these big, large plate carriers, and I would advise against getting a plate carrier and getting a chest rig. It'll be more modular, you'll find that it'll be easier for you to put your accessories and ancillaries on, and I will go through that right now and show you a base loadout of what I would highly recommend for. So this is the type of loadout that I would recommend for any new player. Now yes, you're going to see lots of players in these big bulky plate carriers with lots of pockets and stuff all over them, and yes, they do look cool. But for functionality and for getting yourself going early, a chest rig like this really will help you. Now, one of the key things around the chest rig is it's very modular, so you'll find that a lot of them will take multiple different types of magazines. In here, you can fit 3 across the back and 2 in the front, so it'll carry a maximum of 4. You have little pockets and stash areas in here for all different types of equipment, even fly pockets on the side where I can stick things like an extra magazine or even a speed loader like I've got in here. Now, why would I advise one of these over plate carriers? Now, plate carriers can be quite bulky, they can be expensive, you can find that they can fit quite well and they can fit quite poorly depending on your frame and build size. So if you're quite a narrow guy like myself, you know, getting a big plate carrier sometimes don't fit particularly well. If you're a young player as well and you've got a smaller frame, they can just feel a little bit more uncomfortable, whereas these will fit more players that are out there. You'll find that the flexibility on these is very, very good, and you can position it all different ways and it will fit all different types of body types. Now, yes, your storage space is more limited on a chest rig, but everything on here is much more accessible, and I'll explain that from when I've had a plate carrier on and I was starting off early and I was carrying things like extra BBs, a bottle of water and speed loaders, spare batteries, and just the basics for going out and playing a skirmish game. I found that it was stuffed in lots of pockets all around the plate carrier, and then when I wanted to get to it, kind of had to halt everything that I was doing and get to it. With a setup like this, you're going to spend a lot less. Now, there is a few different plate carriers that you could go and purchase, and I would imagine that they're going to be starting around the £50–60 mark. You could pick up a chest rig for much, much less than that. So the intro price is also much cheaper. With using a backpack in cooperation with it, a lot of you guys are going to have a backpack at home. If it's black, if it's a sports bag, it doesn't particularly matter that it's not a tactical looking bag, but sticking everything in the backpack is going to make everything much more accessible, especially for new players, and a lot of people are going to have a backpack at home. Now, I here have got a little Warrior Assault Systems bag. I use this all the time. It's been to lots and lots of events with me, and a bag about this size would be perfect. You could put a waterproof jacket in here that you're not going to be able to attach or put into a pocket on your plate carrier. You could put bottles of water, you could put some food, you can put a beanie hat or a cap. You can fit everything in here, and it's very, very accessible. When you try putting all of those things that you would like to carry with you when you're first starting out onto a plate carrier, it can make it very bulky and cumbersome. Also, getting to this stuff can be very, very easy with a backpack on and a little bit more difficult when you've got a plate carrier on. So this type of setup of running a chest rig and a backpack is a very easy, simple introduction into getting your kit. Now, you can start fleshing things out afterwards, but this is a very cheap way onto the ladder, and it will suffice for a lot of players for a long period of time. Again, you know, you can fill this with whatever you see fit. With the chest rig, there's a ton of them out there that you can go and get. We've reviewed a few different ones on the channel. You can pick this one up for about $60. We also have some others on there that have been reviewed that, you know, go up in price. Start looking at Warrior Assault Systems. If you are, you know, going to be spending a little bit more money, but their quality of their kit is incredible, there's a review of it back on the channel. If you want to go and have a look at some of the Warrior Assault System stuff, it's retailed in the UK by a company called UK Tactical. They also ship into Europe as well, so if you are interested in their kit, a link will be in the description. So if you're going to get going, pick a platform that you enjoy the look of, one that, you know, don't worry too much about performance. If you are after a reputable company, again, I wouldn't trust any of the magazine reviews. I would go and check reviews that are out there on YouTube. Ares is a really good brand. If you do want to spend some money and get a really reliable platform, by no means, you know, pushing this upon people, but Tokyo Marui guns are absolutely outstanding. It's what we all run. It's what majority of all the people I know run, Tokyo Marui weapons. They're very, very good, although they are quite expensive. If you're looking to get onto the ladder, Ares are absolutely perfect, and you're going to see no huge difference between one gun and another. So that's what I would recommend. Find the one that you like the look of best, and, you know, adapt and work with that platform. Will feel a little bit like alien to you at first, and you're probably going to turn up and not know as many people, or you might even be turning up on your own. Airsofters inherently are very friendly. Turning up to Sunday skirmish sites, everyone's been in the same position once where they're turning up for the first time. You're going to see guys in loads of flashy kit and loads of cool stuff. Doesn't make them any better of a player. It doesn't mean that they're going to kill you more. It doesn't mean that they have more, you know, skill when it comes out to being out on the ground. Equipment is just equipment. It's always down to the player themselves. So go out, enjoy playing Airsoft. If you do have any questions, any comments, please feel free to put them in the comments box below. We're always happy to give new players advice on kit, equipment, and just general advice. We do tend to do more of the 48, 72-hour events. A lot of people ask, you know, if we do Sunday games or if they could come and play with us, that sort of thing. You know, we always try to do as many of them we can each year, but we are normally very limited because we spend a lot of time preparing for the larger events. If you do want any information on the kit that I've worn today, all of the reviews will be back on the channel. If you want to check some more out from myself and from Richie, you can check us out on theheresygroup.com. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all soon.